because I am a journalist. I studied mass communication up to the level I did, and I've been a practitioner for about 30 years now. So I eat and drink journalism. And some of us got into this profession out of watching models, those that affected us positively, seeing what they were doing, and we felt that we could be like them and even or better than themselves. And it was an era where the consciousness was building. The likes of the late Delegiwa, Regbo, and a lot of them who came with some beauty to the job, not what we grew up to know. That journalists were those that will write and people will be fighting the following day. No, we found that the thing should be what you should put out there that will bring people together. You let us know that in a community like Utulu, for instance, where food is aggregated, wherever the food is produced, they bring it to that Utulu place. And how do we get to Utulu? Because food is always brought there. Is there any road to Utulu? If the road to Utulu is not good, we'll let the government know. We'll let the people who should know. No. If there's a farm settlement that is somewhere that the farmers need encouragement, we'll go draw the attention of the authorities that there's a farm settlement there, people are doing well there, but they needed more to be done for them. Those are the kind of things we do. And now that I'm in this saddle, having come from that background where we preach development now, not that era where it is to destroy. Of course, you can be sure that that's all we're going to be looking. That's what I'm going to be asking colleagues like you to join us in doing at the government side. Let anything that government is perhaps glossing over, not adverting its mind to, and ought to be done, let us know in government. Of course, that's the kind of thing I will champion. I will let His Excellency know that, oh, this place needs to be developed. They will try to even play down on crisis, because when there is crisis, soil development will not come. I'll tell you a story. When Chief James Onanefebori was governor of Delta State, I was here as a journalist then, and it didn't take more than 2 interactions with him by media people for us to know that he was a very intelligent man who had a very wide network of information. He was able to let people know that, look, information it is. And for you to manage a place, no matter how small, you must have information always. And you will go out to know how to tap this information, but you need it for your job. So everybody, no matter how, even the head of a family, knows that in your family, you need information. If I were a way of doing it, maybe for your smallest baby in the house, you tap from there. So for a governor, my own governor, for instance, having been in governance all his life, you recall that he was a councillor, was a local government secretary, he was chairman eventually, and all of that. He's seen it all, so he knows the power of communication, power of information. Even after having information, how you use it to work. If it means talking to your people, it helps you know their mood. It makes you organize what you're going to tell them, so that you don't aggravate situations. You let them know what you are doing. Nothing works like information, even between 2 friends. When 2 friends are good friends, communication helps. In family between husband and wife, if there's a breakdown in information, it causes a lot of time. So in governance, and that's what we're doing. My governor, for instance, understands the power of information, the power of communication. And he tells us, those of us who work with him, don't joke with information. Every information is important, because you don't know what it will cost out there. So the best we'll do is to manage information as they come and distill what will not help us. The ones that will help us will go to town with this and let people know that the government anywhere in the world is for the people. So everybody will see himself as a stakeholder in governance. Whether you are a government functionary or not, you have a stake. You are part of it. Like Oshomole used to say, I will not create one in particular. Maybe as time goes on, there may be need. But for now, what I met on ground that I'm going to develop on, I keep giving instances when I was practicing here. In Ibori's time, I was chairman of correspondence then, we had monthly interaction with the governor then. It was convenient because there wasn't too many areas that time, but now Ibori was doing it then. Though for exigencies, it wasn't quite regular, but we need it was monthly. But I know now that it is quarterly, and I'm going to ensure that we keep faith with it. Every quarter, the governor will tell Deltans what we're doing. On my own, the door is open. It doesn't have to be a particular arrangement that I'm going to be briefing you on activities in the government house, for instance. No. Anytime issues arise, call me. We'll discuss them, whether as a group, whether as an individual journalist practicing. I talk every day for as long as regular as issues come. I'm ready to talk about them. The ones who cannot talk about. 28 years of Delta. It's been a wonderful period for those who were here then, coming from the military era. Not much was on ground. So when the civilians came, from then till now, so much has happened in Delta. So much has happened in Delta. Now there is the airport, it was never there. We now have the stadium that wasn't this sophisticated. Asaba never had, there was a small general hospital that the federal government took over, what you now have as the Federal Medical Center. But even at that, the state now has its own. The specialist hospital out there, our central hospital it's called, is there. And this part of Asaba you see now, it was bush those days. The Grand Hotel area and all that was where Asaba was. But you can see it's developing and almost taking over Urbanum. That's development. So we've come a long way in these 28 years. And on the day, on the 27th that was marked, the governor, a godly man, announced the automatic employment of 14 persons. And he said that he had observed those persons over time. Whatever they were doing, he kept observing and he asked questions. These persons, do they work for us? Are they employed anywhere? And he was told that they didn't have employment. And the man made inquiries on his own and found that he chose that day to announce that 14 Deltans, he didn't know them, but because they needed to be employed, even where the times are difficult, given the finances there is this minimum wage thing that's hanging. Governments are trying to avoid minimum wage, but there he was, taking new workers into the government employ. It means that, and he chose the anniversary of the day. That's the best anniversary gift. That's the best way to celebrate it. So even if the drums were rolled out, people were eating and dancing, I am sure that singular act of announcing the automatic employment of 14 Deltans, that was the best celebration we've had. It was wonderful. And that day, the governor added what the state does for the pensioners in this country. And he was able to tell us that of the 36 states in this country, only about 8 states are keeping faith with pensions for the old people. I remember the governor was saying that the government of Delta spends 1.3 billion every month on pensions, but people don't know. There are so many people out there who think that pensioners are suffering. Yes, it's true. But because it was checkered earlier, he's beginning to address it. But people don't know that. The people think, oh, this government, some of the governments, they're wicked, they're not addressing issues of pension. Until he mentioned it that day, many people didn't know that government commits as much as 1.3 billion to pensions. 300 million is for the contributory pension, compulsory they pay, the counterpart thing. 500 million is for the outstanding, those backlog that were not paid. Another 500 million is for the new people, those that have been there, the old pension scheme, that are the pensioners that are existing. That 500, in fact, it was increased from 300 million to 500 million because the state government added 33.3% to them to increase it. So the man commits that huge amount into pensions for the old people. Some of us will age and become pensioners. So it's already providing a very good ground for all of us to be happy to retire. He has announced that the better days are here. And I'm sure, knowing him, he has this. He didn't know he was going to be a governor when his people in the Owa land gave him the chieftaincy of Ekweme. And Ekweme means he says he does what he says. In Pidgin English parlance is Toknadu. So he didn't know he was going to be governor. He didn't like that. But for the things he was doing that time, his people gave him that. So having said better days are here, of course, just wait and see what the governor will do. He saw what he did with the sports people. When we were going for the sports people last year, he said for every gold medal, it is 1 million. And he did it. For everybody that won gold medal, he gave 1 million. So if those who won 5 gold medals, they got 4 million. People thought that it was politics. He wasn't going to do it. Maybe just did it to push them to work hard and all that. But he did it to encourage them. And that is the Ekweme we'll talk about. And the man has said, better days are here in Delta. And I'm sure those of us who are close to him knows that he will do that. So my brother, for appointment, he has said it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing. So many boards were dissolved. I was a board member. I was the member of the board of Pointer in the last regime. That board has not been reconstituted, and so many like that. So appointments are not over. So many are still to be done. So for those hoping that they will be appointed, there is still room for appointments. It's not over yet. The government is settling. So many people have come on board. So the ground has been hit running. And we hope that the man will walk his talk like he does always.